Hello, Denise Matteau here, and this is the second in my series of 12 denim bags. Um, the first one had Queen Anne's lace, and I'm showing this one now at this early stage. I've done all the structural sewing on it, and let's see, it's a very simple design. One pocket on the back, the lining will have one pocket. and This is going to be sunflowers. Now, what I do is freehand embroidery. I don't plot out a design ahead of time. As you can see, I sketched in a few lines with a fabric marking pencil. And then what I do is I take regular sewing thread and I sketch with a running stitch. I've sketched in the stems, the leaves. I'm going to put another leaf here. And I've started the flowers. And when I come in to do the real embroidery, I'll use embroidery floss, and possibly also I have some nice golden yellow heavy yarn like thread that I might use on. I might do some couching on the outside of these petals. I don't know. But I'll do all the fancy stuff, and these sketch threads disappear underneath. Um, and the reason I do this is I just am not a planner. I mean, I'm sorry, but if I have to make sketches ahead of time and measure everything and think about everything, it just won't get done. I like to jump right in. I don't know why I'm like that, but I am. And I discovered that using this running stitch method, if there was anything here that I didn't like, it would take 2 seconds to pull the stitches out and go back in again. And I can get a good sense of what it's going to look like before I start the time consuming process of doing all the the probably a mix of couching and satin stitches here, stem stitches along here, herringbone leaf stitches. I think they call it a chevron or a herringbone, the basic thing. um Probably a bunch of French knots and things in here. So I've got a good sense of how this is going to be balanced out. I'm going to have some grass. I put the line there because I'm going to have these flowers coming out of a line of green grass blades. And I'm thinking I'm going to put a bumblebee right here. Um, so I just wanted to show you, this is step one. Uh, Mark this thread because, put a hello or comment or whatever in there, because I'm going to come back with the rest of the steps for this bag. I'll repost in replies to this one. Also, I'm new with this Facebook page and my Facebook account. I've opened a couple of groups. I've opened one up called Smocking and Embroidery. Um, and I'll be posting in there, and eventually I'll be putting my material in the groups which are private. I've got one that's still public, my TFP, Texas Felt Piecing, that's public. But the other two, my Smocking and Embroidery, and what's the other one? I don't remember what the other one is. Well, anyway, they're private. And Thread Ninjas, that's the other one. And in Thread Ninjas, I want us to be able to talk. Now, I can't move the private group to a public status. Once you make it private, it stays private. But I can move the public group to a private status. And my plan is to um, try to reach a certain level of membership. And when we have, maybe a dozen or so serious people in there, and I'm going to try to keep the spam. There are all these artificial accounts now. It's really annoying. But I think that I can probably block them out. And then when it goes private, um, people will be able to invite their friends in, but hopefully we'll be able to keep the stupid spammy stuff out. And I'm still learning the process. But anyway, I wanted to share this. It's free, freehand embroidery. I don't know how many other people do it this way. Frankly, the only place I see people doing this are people who are doing the slow stitching scrolls and the art scrolls. And they're not referring to it as embroidery. They're referring to it as slow stitching or borrow stitching. This isn't borrow stitching though. The real that really would be a misnomer, but I have seen people use it that way. What's the other word? Carantha? This is more close to the Carantha because if I were to continue with just running stitches, which I could just, put the yellow and do a spiral of running stitches and all that. That would be Carantha stitching, but I'm gonna do traditional Western style embroidery. Um, but I wanted to show you that I do use the running stitch to quickly sketch my design in. And would love to see what other people are doing. So, anyway, that's what I have to say today. Denise Matteau, over and out.